Okay, today we're finally back to working on the Dovetail pickup bed. I am building here for my Mazda B2200 pickup, and I haven't worked on this in probably close to a year and a half, and the bed's complete enough. I was able to drive the pickup and still use it, but it needs a lot more work to be done. So I'm going to go ahead today, and I'm going to get the metal deck welded on top of it here. So I finally have a floor on this pickup bed, and so that'll be really nice to have that done so I can haul stuff easier without worrying about falling through or anything like that. I have an auction coming here next weekend, and it'll be nice to be able to haul some stuff on it a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and get the bed taken off, and so I can flip it upside down to weld the decking on. But first I'm going to go ahead, lay the steel down, get it all in place and lined up, and get it all tack welded on, and then I should be able then to take the bed off, flip it over, and get it welded. And I'm running a little bit short on sheet metal, so I'm probably not going to get the whole thing done, but I'm going to get probably about 90% of it done. So the sheet metal I'm using is actually off of some old shelving units that we got. They came on some benches, and we took shelves off the benches because we didn't need them. And it's really good flat steel. It's pretty thick, and it should work out just fine for this deck. And I didn't want to spend the money on sheet metal because it's terribly expensive. And I always like to reuse stuff and get the stuff done cheaper, and it's nice to reuse materials. So before we get started, don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit the notification bell for a lot more videos coming up on this pickup and bed. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and leave comments down below. I have some videos of building this bed already posted on YouTube. There'll be a link up here in the top corner of your screen. So be sure to check those out if you haven't seen them yet. Fair warning though, not the best videos. Those are just kind of when I was first getting started on YouTube, and not really the best quality, and not really the best, I don't know, I wasn't that great at making videos then, as if I'm good at making them now. But anyway, though, so be sure to go check those out if you haven't already. And let me go ahead and show you this bed on how it is now, because I did quite a bit of work on it, and I never got the video put up because I want to get more work done. And I still had the video files, but I'm probably not going to mess with it. So I'll put a few clips in here, and I'm going to show you on what exactly I have built, and what all it looks like and how it all works. So basically right here, I have built this whole bed out of scrap metal that I happen to have. These galvanized pieces, everything galvanized you see was leftover metal from 2 30 by 70 foot high tunnels we built. And some reason they gave us a bunch of extra metal. I have no reason why. And so I'm not going to scoff at it, though. I'm going to put it to good use. And all this box steel, the smaller box steel, I had all this already. And it worked really good. It's like a 1-inch box. And then the rest of this here, like this, and my pieces here for the frame, all that is tractor subframe. And this stuff here is off of a Minneapolis Moline. This is off of a Alice Chalmers WD-45 or WD, one of those. And on the back here, this is the Dovetail half, so it's easier to load mowers, four-wheelers, basically anything that'll fit on here. And it has these hinge points right here, and those are just a 3-point pin for a tractor implement. That's category 1. And then I use the category 2 bushings that go onto the pins. So it's a nice tight connection, and it's a nice easy hinge point. Now onto the bed here, it can easily be picked up. And then I haven't made a stop yet for it. So it is, so it stays up on its own. I'd only take a couple pieces of box steel, prop underneath it, so it will be, so it'll hold it up. It's not perfect, but it does work. And I had made my fuel spout come through right here, and that seems to work really good. It seems to fill up easy. I was afraid of it not wanting to fill up quite right, because it is lower than what the original bed is, but it seems to work great. I made these side rails onto here, and it has these pins like this, and it's going to have sides that are going to fold up over the pickup bed. So it's going to have about 1.5 foot tall sides that are foldable and removable. So if you want sides to haul stuff, you have them. Or if you're hauling something wider, you can fold them down or just completely take them off. And these rails also make a great place to tie down. And it really seems to work good for that. And here we got the wheel welds that I use, or the fenders, or whatever you want to call them. And those are actually made out of a dual rim spacer for a tractor wheel. And I went ahead and ripped it so it was never enough. And then I cut it into one spacer, made both wheel welds. And it really turned out good. And it's really nice, heavy. It's not going to get bent up and messed up. And that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to mess with something that's going to be too flimsy. And I want something that's going to last real good. And then on the bumper here, onto the back, I used a really heavy piece of box steel. And I capped both ends. And then put a receiver hitch on it here. And that piece of box steel is was the main part of a cultivator for an international old 2-point cultivator. So I like having a really stout bumper, you know. Not afraid to chain to it and put weight on it or anything. You know, somebody would happen to ruin you. But it is lower, so most vehicles now are so insanely tall, they'll probably hit the back of the cab before they hit the bumper. But I don't know what to do about that. So I'm going to go ahead, start getting the metal decking laid out onto it, start getting it tacked down into place, and then I'll go ahead and get the bed taken off. It just has 6 bolts, has 3 here on each side, and has another one up underneath there. So it comes off really pretty easy, and hopefully get this done and finish up here the next day, because the auction's coming up and I need this all in good working order. So let's go ahead and get started and see if we can get this finished. Okay, got all my pieces of metal laid out here, and I still need to get them measured and centered up better, but I just have them tossed down to where they're going to be going. And I need to cut that piece right there, and it's going to fill in this gap here, and then the gap on the opposite side there. And for right now, I'm going to go ahead and weld on these pieces on the dovetail and get those done. And then from there, I can measure off and get these other pieces welded on. The reason why I'm using these pieces of metal here, like I said just a bit ago, these are off of a shelving unit. And they really are perfect because they have this overhang that is bent down, and it really works good. It'll be nice to be able to hook a strap onto the edge of that because it overhangs, and just has a nice clean look of it overhanging and being bent down. And then the ends here are beveled, so you're not going to snag your leg or something on it if you walk close around. So these pieces of metal are really going to work out nice. I have a hole cut in this piece of metal here, which I will get into that later and explain why. And for right now, I'm going to go ahead, get this tack welded all into place. Okay, just got all the metal cut, ground down, and it is all tack welded on. And we're going to go ahead and get the pickup bed pulled off, flipped over, and get our weld on solid. Okay, here's what we got done. We got the whole front half of the deck finished. And then the dovetail half, we didn't complete the center because first off, we ran out of time. And then also we have to do some other stuff to dovetail. And it'll be more of a pain once the deck's on it. So we didn't bother getting it covered yet. As you saw here on the center piece right here, we went with 2 layers because the metal we had was a little bit thinner. You can kind of see the 2 different layers there. And the only metal we had was thinner is off of a swather. And so we ended up using it and just put down 2 layers of it. And it came out about the right thickness. And it should work out just fine. And I had mentioned earlier, this piece here is cut out. And that panel had that cut in it already. And I went ahead and used it because it matched all my other pieces of metal. And I wouldn't have had enough without it. But it's going to work out because I'm going to cut a hole in the deck. It's going to come down to about around here. And then back up. And I'm going to have a box sunken down into the bed with a lid on it. And I'm going to put 2 small electric air compressors in there. So I have air power for the shocks. And eventually one of these days I'm going to put airbags in the back pickup. And it'll be nice having onboard air. So that cut to piece metal isn't really going to matter. Because I was going to cut a hole there anyway. So it's going to work out pretty well. And I guess this is going to do it here for this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave comments down below. And I'll see you next week.